In the last session, we discussed about chart of accounts. Okay, the chart of accounts we can create by using accounting key flex fill. The accounting key flex fill we have as a part of general ledger application. Within the chart of accounts, we have to create the segments, we have to create the value sets, we have to create the values. And when you create the chart of accounts, we have to understand few points. The maximum segments which we can create is 30. Minimum are 2 segments. Those 2 are company and account. Reality, this could be the number of segments what we create for different implementations. Mostly you can see the segments like this, including the buffer segments, as well as we should not include something as a segment which is specific to 1 or 2 applications. The best practices when you design the chart of accounts we'll discuss later. If you want to create the chart of accounts in the system, what process we have to follow? These are the steps. Now, for our testing purpose, okay, so let's create one chart of accounts. Let's create chart of account with these 7 segments. The very first step is we have to create the value sets. If you want to create the value set, you have to create that for each segment. Now we have 7 segments. For each segment, we have to create one value set. After that, you can create the segments within the chart of accounts. The same value sets you can assign to respective segments. Let's see how to create the value sets. So go to instance, go to our implementation project. So click on overview. The project which is assigned to Google user that you can see here. Click on the same project. Now what we want to do, we want to create the value sets. Value sets where we need, the value sets we need within the chart of accounts. Okay, within the chart of accounts only, we need value sets. Since we are going to create the value sets for chart of accounts, the task name you can find as chart of accounts value sets. Search for chart of accounts value sets. Please make a note of each and every point. Okay. So what task we are using to create what, please make a note. And how we are creating the value set also, please make a note. You'll get recorded videos, but please don't depend on those recorded videos. All the time you cannot play those. If you take all these points into your note, whenever you are going to practice, quickly you can refer and that will help you to do your practice. So when you attend a classroom training, what we do? We'll have one just note and we'll write each and everything. The same process, please follow. The task name is Manage Chart of Accounts Value Sets. Click on this task. Click on Go to Task icon. Here you can notice all the tasks are in the sequence only. The first task is Manage Chart of Accounts Value Set. First we'll create value sets. Yes, that's what we discussed. After that, we are going to create the chart of account structure. Same you can see, manage chart of account structures. Within this structure itself, we create segments, we assign value sets to segments, we assign segment labels to segments. After that, we are going to create chart of account structure instance. Okay, so the same we discussed. Okay, we are going to create chart of account structure instance, the same you see in the system. After that, we have to deploy the accounting flex fill. We create the chart of account structure and instance within the accounting flex fill. Then we submit it for deployment. Then we create the values in the value sets. Here is the task. Chart of accounts value set values, or else by using the first task also, you can create the values in the value sets. So that means what are the setups we are going to do, all you could see in the sequence. Again, you can see which setup is mandatory, which is optional. Okay, if you see the star mark, that means required. It's a compulsory setup. So this is how you can see. Here, manage chart of accounts configuration not mandatory. Again, this is mandatory, rest are optional. So this is how you can notice when you are doing the setups. Most of the setups, what we do, the sequence also you can find within the project itself. In the project, you can find the sequence. Now, we'll go and create the value sets. Okay, we'll go and create the value sets. And here, now not required, we'll see later all these points. Okay, each and every column, meaning and all. First, we'll create our chart of accounts. Once we are ready with the chart of accounts, we'll discuss all these columns and purposes. So task is manage chart of accounts value sets. Click on go to task icon. So this is the page where you can create the value sets. The value sets already created, those you can find from this search section. Given search option by giving the value set code or validation type or value data type or module. Each application we call as a module. Here we discussed, these are the different applications. These applications we call as a module. The application is equal to module. Both are same. Module is the technical term. Generally, we call it as application. Remember, module and application both are same. Fine. Now, you can find the value sets with this. But remember, we never get single value set in the fresh instance from Oracle. We have to create all the value sets what we required in our chart of accounts as per segments. Okay. So you don't find any sample data in the fresh instance when you are working for any implementation. Let's see how to create the value set. Click on create icon. What is the task we are using? In the project, you can search for the task called as chart of accounts value sets. You don't need to give the prefix as a manage. 99% tasks starts with the prefix called as manage. But you don't need to enter when you are searching any task. You can search with the direct task name. System can find out the actual task what you are trying to search. The task name is manage chart of accounts value sets. You no need to remember this navigation or path. Not required. Directly you can search. Click on the task name. And click on go to task icon. We are going to create the value sets. Click on go to task icon. Right. So how many value sets we have to create? Let's create 7 segments. For each segment, one value set is required. To create the value set, click on create. And first you can give the value set code. When you create the value sets, you have to include the company name first, then you can give the value set name. So we are going to do the implementation, say for Google, you can give the name as Google company. Means Google company value set. You don't need to write it as a value set. So value set only we are creating in the value set creation page itself. Again, you don't need to write the name as value set. Wherever value set field is available, there only this value set can be displayed when you do the setups. So you don't need to write it as a value set. It is a value set only. Means Google company value set. That is a value set code. The same you can take as a description. Same you can take as a description. So this value set where we are going to use. Where we are going to use the value set we are going to use in the, we are going to assign to segments. Segments are going to be in the chart of accounts. Chart of accounts we are going to create in the accounting flex field. Accounting flex field is available in the GL. That means the GL applications in the concept called as chart of accounts, we are going to use the value set. That means the application or module we have to select as general ledger application. General ledger application, we are going to use it. Primarily the value set creation, what we are going to do is belongs to general ledger application because chart of accounts are belongs to accounting key flex field. Accounting key flex field is belongs to GL. That's how the module you have to select as a general ledger. Module is nothing but application. Here, click on drop down, select module as a general ledger. So the value set what we are creating to use in the general ledger application. And validation type. When we are going to create the companies, already discussed, these are the companies we are going to create. These companies are going to be independent values. These companies are going to be independent values. Cloud services is one company, ad services another company, another entity. Maps is another entity, different companies. So since the values are going to be independent, here validation type you select as a independent. That means within the value set, what are the companies we are going to maintain, those are going to be independent. One company is not going to depend on another company and nothing else. Just those are going to be independent. Select it. Later we'll see the other types also, whatever we have to understand. Basically, this is what we select. Validation type as independent means you can create the independent values within this value set. Independent values means there won't be any dependence. One company is not going to depend on other company. Those are separate companies. And value data type. Value data type. Here you can select within this value set what you are going to do. You are going to give the company code like this, and you want to write the company name. Company code, the name you can call as a description. That means you are going to enter the data alphanumeric. Code you will provide. The code is belongs to which company you have to provide. That means within that company value set, you want to provide, you want to enter alphanumeric data. So what data you want to enter in this company value set, that you have to specify here. If you select character, you can enter alphanumeric. If I select number, only I can enter number. Okay, I can enter company codes, company names I cannot provide. Do you want to capture the date and time? Not required. The value set is company. We want to capture the companies. The value set name is not date. So select character so that alphanumeric, okay, content you can enter in this value set. You can give the company code and you can give the company name, nothing but description. Select it. And the security enabled data security resource name, this is a separate concept. Okay, when we work on general ledger application, I'll take you through. The concept name is security rule. We will see that when we are working on security rule concept, we'll come back to this page and we will enable it and we'll discuss about it. For now, you don't need to touch it. Okay, that is a separate concept related checkbox and field. Ignore these two. When we deal with the concept, we will discuss. Now, value subtype. Value data type you selected as character and value subtype you have to select as a text. Okay, you are going to enter the text as an alphanumeric. And maximum length. What is the maximum length here? When you create the companies, you have to give the company code and you have to write the company description. Here, what is the length we given? Only one length. One digit to code only we entered. 1, 2, 3. One digit only. So reality, how many, what is the size, what is the length you require for company codes that you have to enter here. The reality, what happens is, say for example, client has 10 companies or else only one company, 10 branches. 10 branches, they'll create as a 10 companies here. Okay, the company value set, say they have only one company. If they have a 3 companies, yes, you can create as 3 companies. Say for example, they have one company. The one company, they have a 10 branches. Each branch we have to create as a company. Okay, each branch, client is doing the business. They have only one business, but they have a 10 branches. Okay, 10 branches. So when they have a 10 branches, the 10 branches, they have to record as a 10 separate companies. Reason, the branch wise, they want to record the transactions separately. The branch wise only, they have to find out how much expense they spent, how much revenue they generated, final how much profit they got. Everything need to be tracked branch wise. That is the reason every branch we create in the system as one company. We'll discuss that very detailed level as a part of enterprise structure. As a simple point, you can make a note of it. So when we are going to create all this, say for example, they have a 10 branches. Now we have to create those 10 as a 10 companies. So you can give the number like 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Or else you may go with some other numbering. What code they require for the companies, client will decide. Some clients, what they say is, we want to go with the company code with the 2 digits. Say for example, they have 4 companies. In that case, in the 2-digit number, they may use 10, 20, 30, 40. This is how they use. Some clients, even they have 4 companies or 5 companies, they says, we want to go with the 3-digit number. That means they may use 100, 200, 300. So this is how just they may use it. Some clients says, we want to have a company code with the 4 digits. In that case, they may use like 1000. Okay, they don't have many companies, 4 only, but how they want to see the company codes. Instead of using 1, 2, 3, so they can use like names, numbering like with the 2 digits or 3 digits or 4 digits. This is what you see reality when we do the implementation. Clients prefer to choose 2 digits or 3 digits or 4 digits. Okay, if they want to have 4 or 5 digits also, nothing wrong. So generally you see this 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, so this is how 2, 3,000, 4,000. So as a part of implementation, we discuss with the client. Okay, when we are going to create companies in the chart of accounts, so what is the size they require? What is the length they require for company codes that we discuss with the client? So all the companies, what they have, all the branches, what they have, complete information they will provide. They will provide the complete information. So that just we have to enter in the system. Now for our testing purpose, let's take maximum length as a 4. That means company codes you can enter in the system with the 4 digits. Okay, with the 4 digits, maybe 1000 or 1100, 1120, 10, anything. Just with the 4 digits you can. So that's how you have to take the decision after discussing with the client. So now we are entering here maximum length 4. Max 4 digits numbers you can enter, but it allows, say, from 1 to, okay, 4-digit highest number is 9,999. So now with the company value set, since you given maximum length as a 4, you can enter the company codes, company values from 1 to 9999. If you want to set a restriction, you can set a restriction. You can set a restriction. The company codes should be in between 1000 to say 8,000. Now you are setting the rule. You given here 4 digits. If you give 4 digits, somebody may enter with the 2 digits also, company code. They may enter 10. Somebody may enter as a 1, for example. Another company code may be 200. Somebody may enter 4 digits code. So you given 4 means up to here. 1 to up to here. Even 0 also it will allow. Now if you give like that, you may enter the values like this. One company in 1 digit, another company in 2 digits, other company 3 and 4. So there is no exact format. That is the reason to set a restriction. Any company code we are going to enter that should be in between this 1000 and 8000. Now you cannot create the company codes before 1000 and after 8000. So any company code you are going to enter that should be in between this range only. That would be definitely in the 4 digits. This is how you can set minimum value and maximum values for your company codes. And again, when we are going to enter the company description, say you may give the company code as a 1 or 1000, and you have to write the Google Cloud Services. Here in Google, G I taken the uppercase, remaining letters I taken lowercase. Here you may set a rule, uppercase only. If you enable the checkbox within this value set, if you are going to write like Google Cloud Services or Add Services, all the letters should be in the uppercase. It doesn't allow upper and lower cases combination. It allows only uppercase. That's how you can set a rule. Say for example, you are not setting the minimum and the maximum values. So in that case, the maximum length you given as a 4, and if you enable this 0 fill, what happens is, say for example, we are going to create one company as a 1. Take here, just here, there is a field just we'll discuss here by putting the data. So you given maximum length as a 4. When you give maximum length as 4, say somebody is going to enter company as a 1. Okay, let's move from there. Let's see here. Somebody is going to enter company as a 1. When they enter 1, if you give 0 fill, maximum how many? 4. Maximum 4 digits. Here we enable zero fill. So we created a company code with 1. Now automatically it will fill with the zeros, remaining digits. Okay, remaining digits, it will fill with the 0. So it's okay. If you enter 1, the remaining it will fill with the zeros. Enable zero fill. You entered 4. You entered number 1 only. How many digits are missing? 3 digits are missing. 3 digits it fill with a 0. Or else you enter company code as a 10. Here you given 4. You enable the checkbox. If you enable the checkbox, the remaining 2 digits it can fill. Or else if you enter company code as 100, it will fill with the 0 remaining digit. If you enter as 1000, then 4 digits you are entering. And if you don't enable the checkbox, if you keep like this, if you enter 1, it would be like 1 only. If you enter 2, that would be 2. If you enter 1 digit, yes, it would be 1 digit only. Company 1. If you enter 10, 10 only. It won't fill remaining digits with the zeros. So these are the points we have to understand when we talk about. Ideally, we don't set minimum and maximum values and zero filling and uppercase only. This is how we create. So value set code we are giving as a company name. Okay, what company we are using for our discussion purpose, testing purpose, Google. And what value set you are creating for which segment. The segment name is company. Okay, the value set, how we have to create company name plus segment name. And same you may take as a description, but optional. You may provide, may not provide. This value set we are going to use in which module? General ledger application. Select it. Validation type select as independent. They are going to maintain the independent values in this value set. Value data type select character so that you can enter alphanumeric numbers. And these two, one checkbox and this field are belongs to separate concept. When we deal with the concept called as security rules, we will discuss so that we can understand. Now we don't need to touch that. It's not relevant. So value subtype select as a text and maximum length. So already discussed. Some clients may go with the 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits, or 5 digits. When you after discussing with the client that you can set here how many digits. And if you want to limit the company codes entry in this value set, the range you can define here as a minimum and a maximum. What are the company names you are going to enter all if you want to see in the uppercase within this value set, you can enable the checkbox called as uppercase only and enable zero fill. So this is how we have to create the value set. Any questions on this, please? First we'll create the value set. That means the empty blank value set will be created. Later we will add the values into that. That also we discussed when we have to add the values into this value set after completing all these setups. After creating the value set, you should not add the value. System will allow, but that would be partial values only. You cannot create meaningful values. After deploying the accounting flex field only, you can create the values with the detailed information. Now, after creating value set, if you try to create values, you cannot provide the complete data which is required for segment values. So what is that also? I'll explain when you create the values in the value sets. This is how you can create the value set for any segment. Any questions here from anyone, please?
Laxman, one question I have.
Please.
So when you say value data type is character and under the definition value subtype is text, but the maximum length you are giving for the code. But when we enter the values, we enter the text, right? The company name, not the code, right?
One second. Here, what is the company code? How many digits you have?
It's 1, 2, 3. It's 1 digit actually.
Yeah, 1 digit. Nowhere we are specifying the description length. Okay, long descriptions you can write. For that, we are not setting anything. That is open. Okay. The 4 is applicable for the code only, not for the name. Name, you can write the long names. No issues. Fine?
Okay.
Yeah.
The length is just for code
only. Yeah. Length applicable for code only. The name.
But can you go back to the page?
Yeah.
So when the code is number, why are we entering the data type as character and the value subtype as text here?
So the field would be only one. The field would be like this. So the field would be like, so here we'll enter the number, 4-digit number. The
right.
4-digit number description, you can enter whatever you want to enter. Okay. The row is same. In that row, what are the company code you are going to enter? That is the length, how much that is asking.
Okay, but we are entering the text you are talking about.
Text, that is another, in the same row, another field. That there is no control here. Okay, anything you can enter, long name or short name. No issues.
Okay. Okay, and there is one more checkbox like uppercase only. So that checkbox is specifying for the text.
Correct. Only text. Yes. Only text.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. And one more point. See here, the maximum length, how much you are giving? 4 you are giving, right? The 4 can be text also. Something A, B, C, D, you can write 4 digits. That also you can write. In that scenario, uppercase is applicable for that also. If you give number, okay, 1000, the uppercase, even if enabled, that is a code that uppercase, lowercase, there won't be any uppercase or lowercase for numbers, right?
Okay. So what I thought is, since the value set code is defined for the company, and all the values, the columns for maximum length, minimum value, uppercase, these all are they are asking for text. That's what I thought.
No, not for text. Not for text, only for number. Okay, you will see when you create, you will see here. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, what are the numbers you provide according it is applicable. The names you will provide in the next field. Okay, for that the number is not applicable. Okay. I'll show you, like I'll enter some with the more digits and what system will give message, that also we will test.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Laxman.
Yeah, thank you. Any questions? Now this is how you have to repeat other value sets creation. Okay, we created for company. Now we'll go and create for department. We'll create for account. We'll create for intercompany. We'll create for project, future 1, future 2. For all these segments, we are going to create the value sets, the same process. Okay. So we're done with this company value set. Now you can say save and close. Again, click on create. Let's create value set for department segment. Give company name, that is a Google. Segment name is department. So Google department value set we are creating. For department segment, we are creating value set. The same you may take as a description or else ignore description. Field is optional. Select module as a general ledger application. Validation type you can select as independent. The other types I'll explain. Primarily we use this one. So value data type you can select a character.
Laxman, one more question. Sorry to interrupt. Please. So here you were talking talking about module, which is general ledger. But when I think in the previous class, you mentioned that, the modules are nothing but, in the Fusion, we refer it as options, not the application.
Still, I'm saying the same. Still, I'm saying the same. You in Fusion, the applications as per FSM, you can call as an option. If I ask you, what do you mean by option? In the Fusion, you can say application. What do you mean by application? You can say module.
Everything is same.
These 3 are same. As per FSM, options we have seen, right? We have seen over there, right? Like enabling, offering, and options. Yeah. So what we have to understand is, if you take an application called a general ledger, that you can call as general ledger application or general ledger module, or you can call it general ledger option. You have things you have to remember.
Yeah. We can use any term. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. So you can give the value subtype as a text. For department also, I want to give 4 digits, or you can give only 2 digits. So save and close. Click on create. Let's create value set for account segment. Google account value set. Select module as a general ledger application. Select validation type as independent. The other types also we should aware. Mostly we don't use, but I'll take you through. I'll touch base those also. Okay, for now we'll proceed with this. Ideally, this is the one which we use. Value data type is character. Subtype is text. Okay, you are not going to enter some translated text from one language to another language, numeric digits only or time, nothing. Text means it will allow alphabet. So length. For companies, ideally you see length like not 2, 3, so 5 or 6 you see, because every company will have a good number of accounts to run their business. So let's provide 5 for account. The 5 digits number we want to give for accounts. Means you can create up to 99,999 accounts. That is the range up to that max number is 99,999 in 5 digits. You can say save and close. Click on create. I will create value set for intercompany. Say Google intercompany. So what we take as intercompany, all the companies only we take into this intercompany value set also. So how you created your company value set, as it is, you have to create this intercompany. So select independent, data type is character. For company, what we given as it is, you have to give. For company, what is the length we given? 4. You should give 4 here also. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay. So 4. Say save and close. Okay. The intercompany value set should be same as a company value set. So in here, what are the companies we maintain for company value set? The same values will maintain for intercompany value set also. So that between those companies, transactions can be recorded. Now say save and close. The next segment we want to create is project. Just click on create. You can give the name as Google project. Select module as a general ledger application. Validation type is independent. Value data type is character. And text. So you want to have a project codes in how many digits, that you can maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Just giving 4 for our testing purpose. So save and close. And the rest of 2 segments are feature 1 and feature 2. We don't know about these segments, how these we are going to be converted in the future. So minimum you create this value, the value set length as the 4 or 5. Okay, minimum just you can create with the 4 or 5. So that if they need 4 digits, they'll use it. Less also they can use it. Click on create. You can give the name as Google Future 1. That is a value set name for Future 1 segment. Select module. That is general ledger application. Validation type is independent. Value data type is character. Subtype is text. So length I am giving 4. Okay, length I am giving 4. In future, if you want to increase the length, you can increase it. That is possible. For any value set, length you can increase, but you cannot decrease it. Okay, or whatever the length we are giving for each value set, in future, if you want to increase, you can increase, but you cannot decrease it. Say save and close. Now we'll create one more value set for future 2 segment. Click on create. Google future 2. You may give the same as a description. Select module. Select validation type as a independent. Value data type is character. Subtype is text. The maximum length you can give 4 for future true also. Say save and close. Now you can find out all the value sets whatever you created. These are the value sets we created. The Google account, Google company, department, future 1, future 2, intercompany project. So this is how we can create the value set. After creating value sets, inside of the value set, okay, inside of the value set, you should not create the values immediately. You have to create the values after completing all these setups. Then only you can set value attributes. What does it mean value attributes? We'll discuss. Now, so we are ready with the value sets. Now we have to create chart of account structure name or chart of account structure. To create the chart of account structure, go to the next task. Here, click on cancel to close this page and go to manage chart of account structures. So if somebody is practicing simultaneously, please stop it. This chart of account structure creation at a time, one user only can do it. Okay, by going through these classes, if somebody is practicing now, you please stop it. I don't suggest that approach. When you are attending class, please attend. Simultaneously, don't practice this. Okay, I am creating value sets and you will be creating value sets other side. So don't go in that approach. So attend the class and think about it. If you have any questions, you can ask me. That will help you. If you are just practicing parallelly, you may complete, you will lose the opportunity of thinking about it, understanding many points. Now, please don't create the chart of account structure now. If somebody is creating, please stop it. At a time, it allows only one user. Okay, at a time, it allows only one user. Anyway, the chart of account structure creation is one-time activity. As a part of implementation create, then client will start using. So only one time you create. The same time, if multiple users are accessing this chart of accounts structure creation page, system doesn't allow multiple users. It allows only one user. For other users, it will give the message already other user is holding the lock. So that's how system behaves in case of chart of account structure creation. Somebody is working on this chart of account structure creation page, please exit. So value sets are ready. Now you can click on go to task icon against manage chart of account structures task. Click on go to task icon. And what we discussed. The general ledger application, we have a accounting key flex fill. You can call it as accounting key flex fill or simply you can call it as accounting flex fill. Both are same. And there you can create the chart of accounts. Now we navigated to this page, directly click on search. Now here you can see application is general ledger application. Within that we have accounting flex fill. Key flex fill name is accounting flex fill or you can call it as accounting key flex fill. Now to create the chart of account structure, here click on manage structures. Click on manage structures. Now click on create. You can give the structure code. So we are going to create our chart of account structure by using accounting flex fill. That is the reason generally we provide the naming convention like this. Company name, Google, and accounting flex fill. This is how we provide the structure name generally. Or else you can give the name as a Google chart of account. But don't write the name chart of accounts as chart of accounts since that is being created in the accounting flex fill. Include accounting flex fill as a part of chart of account structure name. Generally, this is how we use the naming convention, company name plus accounting flex fill. The same structure code you can take as a name. The same name you may take as a description. And here we have a delimiter. What is a delimiter? Okay, here these are the codes. Okay, company codes, department codes, account codes. I want to record on transaction. I'm entering 3.4.5. Here 3 means Google Maps, 4 means marketing, 5 means computer purchases. If I don't give dot, it would be 345. Okay, sometimes you can understand, sometimes you may not understand. So that is reason the codes you have to separate. Okay, company code, department code, account codes you have to separate. If you take company 3, department 4 and account 5, this we call as code combination. Okay, this we call as code combination, CC. This we call as code combination. So the code combination, how we are separating with the dot. If not dot, you can put slash. So there should be readability. Anybody look at this, they should be able to understand. They should not see whether it is a 34 company or 45 department or third company or what exactly. There should be clarity. If you separate, easily anyone can read and understand that. So how you want to separate this company, department, account codes when you record the transaction, that you can set with this delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but segment separator. Here we are discussing with the slash or dot. So that's how you can set in the system. So when you create the transactions with this icon, with this symbol, the values will be segregated. We are going to put dot. We given structure code, structure name, description. Description is optional. You may enter, may not enter. And the delimiter is nothing but segment separator. Okay, how the segment codes need to be separated, that you can specify with this. And by default, the chart of account structure is enabled. We are not enabling, system is enabling by default. Within the structure, you can create the segments. To create the segments, the create icon is disabled. What we have to do is, after entering this data, click on save. Save. Now nobody is accessing the same page. That is the reason system is allowing me to save it. So same time, if somebody is working on this, say in this instance, in this page, if I click on save, it will give the error message. It will give the error message. Another user is already holding the log. You please try after some time. That's how you'll get a message. When you are practicing, if you get such kind of message, when you try to save it, if you get such kind of message, please understand some other user is already practicing that. Somebody is creating the chart of accounts by using the same page. That's what we have to understand. Wait for some time and try, that will work. Now, within this chart of, still please don't touch this page, anyone who are attending the class, please don't access this page. We have to create the segments and we have to save all those. Till the time, please don't access this page. That's a request. Fine. Now, once you click on save, system is enabling this create icon. Earlier it was disabled. It was like this pencil icon. It is grayed out, freezed. Okay, like this was. After entering these details, once you click on save, system is enabling segment creation icon. Okay, now click on this. Click on create. Now what we discussed here. So we have to create segment, and each segment we have to assign the respective value set, and we have to assign the segments labels to segments. So primarily which labels we have to assign to which segment we'll discuss, and after some time you'll come to know why we have to assign the labels and what is the purpose of the labels. These are all you can understand. Okay, those you can understand after some time. Now let's talk about the labels. So here, let me remove this. Say company segment. For company segment, we have to assign the label called as primary balancing segment label. Why we have to assign, we don't know now. We'll come to know very soon. For a department segment, you have to assign cost center segment label. Why we have to assign, we don't know. We'll see later. And for account segment, we have to assign natural account segment label. Okay, natural account segment label. So why we are assigning this label to this segment? There is some purpose. Now we can discuss, but we cannot catch it. We cannot understand. Wait for some time. You will see the proof so that you can understand easily. For now, just remember these 3 points. Okay. For company, we are going to assign the primary balance and segment label. For department, cost center segment label. For account, natural account segment label. And for intercompany segment, intercompany segment label. Please try to remember which label we have to assign to which segment. Remember as of now, why we have to assign, we will understand. First, if you are aware of this, why easily you can understand. Okay. For company, you have to assign primary balance and segment label. For a department segment, we have to assign the same terminology you have to use when you speak about it, assign. Okay. What terminology I'm using, please take the same and you also use it. Okay. So for department segment, we have to assign cost center segment label. For account segment, we have to assign natural account segment label. For intercompany segment, we have to assign intercompany segment label. So which segment, which label we have to assign, please remember. Later we'll come to know what is the purpose, what about other segments, etc. We'll discuss. Now, we'll go and create the segments. So already we are in the segment creation page only. Right? We created structure. And if you click on create, you can create the segments. Just click on create. Now you can give the segment name. How many segments you want to create? These many, 7 segments. You can give the segment called as company. And use a tab from the keyboard. Use tab. It will copy segment code as API name. You see that pop up. The API stands for Application Programming Interface. That is related to technical. If technical consultants are going to use this company segment field, instead of segment code field, they will use API name. That API name field, technical people can use for certain integrations and custom reports for any other customizations purpose. Okay, we don't need to do anything. Don't touch whatever system is generating. We given company C capital, remaining letters are lower, but it is copying the segment code as the API name, everything in the lowercase. Don't change anything in the API name. This can be used for technical purposes. As a functional, we don't need to do anything. We always use the segment code and the segment code name only. So API name for technical purposes, for any mapping purposes or integrations purposes or any custom reports purpose. The API name field can be used by technical people. You read here. Okay. So the name that identifies, specify the name that identifies the segment in the web services. Web services ideally we use in the integrations purpose and reporting, custom reports preparation purpose or integrations purpose. Okay, changing this value could break the integration points. Okay, based on this value, company lowercase, if technical people are going to do some developments or customizations. So if you change here, that all will get failed. That is the reason don't touch it. Just give the segment code. It will copy as API name, accept as it is. Now take the segment code and copy as a name. The same you take as a description and sequence number. So within our chart of accounts, this segment is going to be first segment. Okay, first segment. Give segment number 1. And here you have to follow the exact sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to follow the sequence. If any gap is there in the sequence within the chart of accounts, the chart of accounts doesn't work. Or else you want to give the sequence like 10, 20, 30, 40, doesn't work. Okay, make sure that the segments, whatever you are creating, those all will be in the sequence without any gaps. Since it's a company, we are giving 1 for a department, you can give 2. If you give 3 for a department, 2 will be missing. If 2 is going to miss, this chart of accounts you cannot use to create the transactions. Okay, so please note these points. So anyway, this is the first segment we are giving as a sequence number as 1. Prompt. Prompt is nothing but display name. when users are going to record the transactions, how the segment names need to be displayed for users. End users, you can call as our accountants, you can call our business users, you can call. We'll work on the system to record their day-to-day business transactions. Okay, we call them as end users or business users or accountants. Accountants only we call as end users or business users. So they record invoices, they record payments, they record transactions, they record assets, they generate reports. For those, how you want to display this name? You want to display as a company. Company you want to display as a company. Short prompt. What should be the short name for company? You may give some short name. 4 digits I am giving. And display width. So what could be this field display width? Can you guess? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G, A is not displaying. What could be the display width for this field? How many digits? Field display.
5, sir, 5.
5 or 6, right? So what could be the field display width for this field? What do you guess? What do you guess? Just guess only. Exact number we don't require.
7 more than 30.
4
No,
or
no,
30.
for this.
4.
No, no.
30, sir. 30, sir.
30 or 40. See the length. What I entered, I am not asking. The length. It allows how many digits?
Yes, sir. 30 digits.
It may allow around 30 to 40, right?
Okay.
This may allow 20, right? 20 or 25. Okay, this may allow 5 or 6. This may allow 3 or 4. The same way, for our company segment, when users are going to record the transactions, here like short prompt, in the same way, company name will be displayed for users, and that field size, how much you require, that you have to set as a display bit. Okay, I'm giving 30. When users are going to record the transactions, okay, now segment name will be displayed as a company, and the field size will be displayed with a 30. Field size with length.
Okay.
This much it will display. If I give only just 10 or 15, this much only. Okay. If I give 5, company, the field size, it may display this much. Clear? So that is the meaning of display width. Okay, for business users, the segment company will be displayed as a company. Prompt means display. How it should be displayed. Company will be displayed as company. And what should be the display width? Field size, field width, 30 we are giving. And here select column name. So how many segments we can create? In the chart of accounts, how many segments we can create?
Up to 30.
Max 30, yes. Those 30 you can see here. Click on search. Click on search. You can see up to 30. Segments 30. These are the attributes. That's a different story. Okay. So how many you can see? Max 30. 1 to 30. Now we are going to create segment 1. Select segment 1. And for segments, what we have to assign? What we have to assign? Discuss setups. Sorry?
Value set code. Value set code.
No, value set. Simply you can say value set, but when you create, you can say set code.
Primary balance
as a value set code. Simply you can say value set we have to assign to segments. Right? Now, for company segment, we are going to assign company value set. Here you can see one field called as default value set code. That means we are going to assign value set to company. So click on drop down. Click on search and find our value set name. That is Google company. Search, select. Okay, search, you can find the value set name. You select this record, say okay. So we assign. This is what we call as assigning. We are assigning the company value set to company segment. What else we have to assign to segment?
Segment labels.
We discussed. What we have to assign?
Primary balancing.
Yeah.
Labels.
No. Before that, what we have to assign to segments, I am asking. I am not asking company. To segments, we have to assign the value sets. Along with that, what else we have to assign to segments?
Segment labels.
Segment
Labels.
Labels. Now the point is, for company segment, which label we have to assign?
Primary balance.
Primary balance.
That's all. This is what we have to remember at least. Why we have to assign, we will discuss later. Now, if you try to exercise that, why and all, will get confused. That is the reason I'll take you through those points later. As of now, just remember, for segments, we have to assign the value set that already we completed, and we have to assign the segment labels to segments. Which label to which segments? For company segment, primary balance and segment label, we have to assign. That's what we are going to do now. So here we have a segment labels. Our segment is company. Now what label you have to assign? Primary balance and segment label. Here you see, here is the primary balance and segment label. You can double click on this primary balance and segment label so that it would get selected here under selected labels, or else you can click on that and say move. It will be moved. Okay, you can double click on that, it will come this side, or else you select that label and say move. Anything you can do. I'm going to double click. Select it. So this is what we call as assigning primary balancing segment label to company segment. The purpose and all we will understand very soon. Don't think about it. The colors of primary balancing segment. Just remember, for company, what label we assign, remember as of now, later we'll come to know why we assign. When you see the proof, I'll explain. Done. So this is how we have to create segment. Here you can see range type. Ideally, we never use it. They given the option as an option. So here you can see range type as a low and high. Sometimes you may create some segments like from time to time. If you have, generally you no need to have a times in the chart of accounts. If you have something from, okay, time, one segment, to time as another segment. So this from and to, two segments you have to have if you are going to use this range. Okay. For one segment you set as a low value, another segment you set a high value. Nowhere we use it. Okay, just they're given to manage if any exceptional scenarios for any client. Otherwise, ideally nowhere we use. Okay. So if you want to use this, you should have two segments. For one segment, you have to give as a low, another segment you have to give as high. Then you have to provide the values as a range. Okay. You have to provide the values as a range. That generally required. So this is how you have to create the value segment. Okay. How we are creating the segment? We are giving the name. Automatically system is copying the segment name as the API name. Please don't touch it. It is for technical purpose. And the same segment code you can copy and paste as a name and description. And sequence number, it's going to be first segment within our chart of accounts. Give the sequence number as a 1. How you want to allow the business users to see the segment name as it is. That means prompt. Prompt is nothing but display name. Same company only. So what is short name you want to give for company as a prompt? This is what COMP we are giving. And display width. Company segment field need to be displayed with how much width? 30. And we can create 30 segments and we are reserving one segment for company that we selected as a segment 1. You can select any one, but doesn't make sense. Since first one you can select as first. I can select third, fourth, fifth also. System won't say anything. But since it's the first one, you select as the first one. And for company, we have to assign the company value set. For company segment, we are assigning primary balance and segment label. Okay. So now say save and close. Now one segment is ready. Okay, one segment is ready in our chart of accounts. Still request is same. Please don't come to this page anyone. Okay. So who got access to this instance, please don't come to this page. If you are in this page, if I try to save now, I'll get error message. It says another user is holding the log. That's how it will throw the message. I cannot save it also. Now, please don't access this page. The save and close. Now, we have to create few more segments. These segments we have to create. The same process. Let's see. Let's create department segment. Click on create. Name you can give as a department. Please don't give the names, segment names as a Google department, Google company. That is completely wrong. You don't need to create like that. So because these we are creating within our chart of accounts only, again, you don't need to address as this is a Google for unique identification. Please go on mute. Anand, please go on mute. Okay. So don't give any names like Google company, Google department, Google account. Don't give the segment names like that. What segment you can give as it is. Okay. For structure, you can give company name, and value set as a prefix, you can give Google company, Google, so that uniquely you can identify when you are practicing. But departments, account, etc., don't give anything as a Google department, etc. for segments. The same you can copy and paste. Okay, sequence number 2. By mistake, if you give for department 3, system will accept. But when you try to use this chart of accounts to create the transaction, it will throw error message. It won't allow you to create the transactions if there is any sequence number gap in your chart of accounts. But now it will allow. Later it will create the issue. Prompt is nothing but display name. The department name, how you want to display to business users as a department only. Short prompt, EEPT. Display width. For this segment also I want to give maximum width as 30. And column name, segment 2. See that it is displaying segment 1 also, but if you select it, it won't allow you to use it. After that, after creating all, when you save, already that column name already is used, you cannot use that. So it will throw the error message after later. Now it will allow, but you should not use it. Use second one, segment 2. One already we used. For a department segment, we have to assign department value set. Click on search. The value set name is Google department. So Google department is our value set. Select the record and say OK. That means we assigned department value set to department segment. For a department segment, what label we have to assign?
Cost center.
Cost center.
Cost center.
Yeah, here is a cost center segment label. Just double click, that would get selected. The purpose and all we will understand very soon. Okay. So for department segment, we are assigning the department value set, and to department segment, we are assigning the cost center segment label. Just save and close. What we are doing, you should remember, that will help you in all the ways. If you understand what we are doing, no use. Done. Now we'll go and create one more segment called as account. Click on create. The segment name is account. Don't give as a Google account, not required. Okay. Use a tab. It will copy the same name as the API name. Application programming interface, that is for technical purposes we can use. The same segment code you can copy as a name and description. Sequence number is going to be third segment as per our chart of accounts. Display name we need as account only. Short prompt we need as a ACCT. And display width same. Better you can take display width same for all the segments. So when you look at the segments, there will be some same format. The look and feel would be good. And column name, it's going to be third segment. So select segment 3. Account segment, we have value set, that is account value set. Let's assign. The value set name is Google account. Select value set and say OK. To account segment, what label we have to assign?
Natural account.
Natural account segment label we have to assign. Let's assign. So here is the natural account segment label. Just double click, that would get assigned. Purpose and all we'll discuss later. Say save and close. 3 segments we created. The next segment is going to be intercompany. Click on create. So name you can give as a intercompany. The same you can take as a name, description. It's going to be 4th segment. Prompt is same. Some short name you can provide. Display width is 30. Column name is 4th segment. And now the question is, anybody from EBS background, others you can ignore this point. You are not from EBS background, if you are not aware of this Oracle applications, EBS, etc. No worries, ignore it. If somebody is from EBS background, the question is, in EBS, do we use company value set for the intercompany or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. In Fusion, we should not use. Okay. In Fusion, we should not use. The reason is, in EBS, the security rules works at what level?
It works at segment level.
Exactly, segment level. But in the Fusion, security rules works at value set level.
Oh, okay.
So that is the reason, if you create the security rules in Fusion for company value set level, if you are assigning the same value set for intercompany, it will create issues, right? The rules what you set for company, so those will be applicable for intercompany also, right? So that is the reason we have to maintain the separate value sets in the Fusion for intercompany. Others can ignore this part, not required for you. When you are working on that concept, I'll explain. Who are from EBS background, they have to make a note of this point. Same as EBS, you should not use the company value set for intercompany segment. So company and intercompany, you have to maintain the separate value sets, but inside value should be same. That's all. Now, assign intercompany value set to intercompany segment. Search, select, and say OK. For intercompany segment, we have to assign which label?
Cost center.
No.
Intercompany
segment, we have to assign intercompany segment label. Double click, it would get selected. Now say save and close. Done. 4 segments we created. Now we'll go and create project segment.
Laxman question.
Please.
If we want to change the company, then account, then intercompany, then department, like that. So I want to change. So do I need to change the sequence number as well as a column name, or?
See, now you want to the display you are talking about?
Yeah, like in the code combination.
Okay. Code combination you want to change. See, ideally when you create the segments, if you are going to record anything, first you look at company only, right? Which company it belongs to. Okay. And in that company, department should be there. In the department, account should be there. Or else if you want to have an account as a first segment, you can have it, nothing wrong. First you want to select which activity you are doing. Later you may want to select in which company you are doing and in which department you are doing, you can select, nothing wrong. Any sequence you can maintain. Ultimately, you will record the code combination, that's all.
And all this before the transaction happens, I can do that.
No, just you can create it how you require, you can create it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. If any journal or any subledger transactions are happened, then after that I can come and change the sequence. I can do that, right?
No.
That is what. Okay.
You have to plan and you have to create. That is the point. Okay. Once you create it, it's done.
Okay, and one more question, that API, you said it is very important and it should not be editable.
I'm sorry, I didn't get you. What is the
API name.
API name?
Yeah.
What your question?
Yeah, can't we make that as a non-editable?
No, it's editable only. It's editable,
Yeah.
not saying non-editable. Okay.
No, you said that we should not tweak with that.
We should not touch it, I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what.
I'm opening company. So
Hmm.
this is the code I given. So this is the name it created. Now what technical people are doing is they are creating on integration. When they create the integration, they will take the name as the company's data from other system. It should come into this name. They'll take this name like this, completely lowercase. After some time, what you are doing is you are changing to C, uppercase you are putting. Technical people for mapping purpose, customization purpose, they take in the lowercase, complete. Now it doesn't match, case sensitive. Okay.
That is what I'm telling. Can't we make this entire field as a non-editable, because it is coming from
got
the.
it, got it. So if you want to do that, you can do with the personalization. See, ideally these can be accessed by consultants, okay, not end users. So consultants knows everything, what to do, what not to do. That is the reason you need to take care of that. See, consultant will have access to everything. If they are mad, they can do everything mad, but not.
Okay.
Same way, many things you should not change and all. That just we have to aware. Who knows all those only will have access to this. Those are the consultants. Fields you can make to freezed. Okay, I can make this field as a freezed. You can do with the personalization.
Okay, only through personalization. Okay.
Personalization you can do that. Yes. Or else you want to change this name. It is showing as a segment label. With a personalization, okay, you can change that name. Labels you want to see. Okay. So here instead of seeing that prompt, you want to change the name as a display name. Change it. You talk to the technical team, they'll do this simple personalizations. Okay. Yeah.
Laxman, I have one question.
Please.
In this segment level box, we have a multi-select option. Why we have this multi-select option? Can we select multi-select?
No. See, sometimes to one segment you may assign two also. Okay, two labels also. In those scenarios, I am selecting this and this. Two are selected, right?
Right.
So I can just use this or I can use this. This box not designed only for this. For many other concepts also same box. Here ideally multiple, all you don't need to move. Okay, there is no meaning in that if you move on. Okay. So
yeah,
option ideally not required.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you understand the purpose of these labels, you can understand really we have to assign or we should not assign. Yeah. Okay, done. I'm just canceling this page to close it. Let's create next segment. Next is going to be project segment. Click on create. Okay. Yeah, please go on mute, please. When you ask question, after that, you can just go on mute. So the same it is taken as API name. You can take the segment code, name, description, sequence. So as per our chart of this is going to be fifth segment. Use the number as a fifth. Prompt is same, display name is same, short name is project. Display with this 30 characters we want to have for the segment. Column name is going to be. Now see here it is not displaying those. Because I closed this page and we just gone back. That is the reason. Those are reserved for those segments. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 segments not displayed. Those are already used. Segment 5. Now for project segment, we have to assign project value set. Google project. So okay. And project segment, you don't need to assign any label. When you understand why we assign to other segments, you will understand why we are not assigning for a project also. you want to assign, you can assign also. Before that, you have to understand purpose. After understanding the purpose, we will come to know. Then we have to create future one segment. Click on create. Future one. Same you can take as name, description, and it's going to be 6th segment. Prompt is same. Display name is 1. Short prompt. And display width, say 30. Column name. It's going to be 6th segment. Search. So Google future one. Assign future one value set to future one segment. No labels. Say save and close. Click on create. The next segment is future two. Seventh segment. So sequence number is 7. Display name is same. Prompt means display name. And short prompt is, you can give as a 2. Display with 30 characters. Column name. It's going to be 7th segment. Default value set for future 2 is, so Google future 2. No labels you have to assign. First of all, you don't know the segment. So no labels required. Say save and close. Now you can click on save and close. Our chart of account structure is ready. So we created value sets. We created structure name. Within that, we created segments. We assigned value sets to segments, and we assigned segment label. These labels we assign. Okay, just remember which labels we assign. The purpose we will discuss very soon. First, you have to understand which labels to which segment. Purpose will come to know. So done. We completed these setups. So now we have to create chart of account structure instance. Instance is nothing but copying the chart of account structure. Now with all these setups, whatever we created, we cannot use it. Okay, we cannot use it. In case of EBS, before Fusion, whatever the version we have, EBS R12, there we can use it. Now whatever you created, same if you created within the EBS, you can use it. But at the Fusion, already we discussed how Oracle made the Fusion. So when they made this Fusion, they are going to use the different applications, different technologies, different logics to sync the data across the different applications, from this Oracle Finance to Hyperion applications, and different Primavera applications, and the JD Advanced applications, PeopleSoft applications, Siebel applications, to coordinate all these data synchronizations and all. What Oracle it is, against the chart of account structure, they created instance also. Ultimately, they made it as instance only we can use to record the transactions. That means whatever the chart of account structure we created just now, that will act as a template. By using that chart of account structure, you can create multiple instances. Instance meaning is copy. Okay, the entire this environment also we are calling as instance. This is a copy of software product. In the same way, if you talk about chart of account structure, if you copy the chart of account structure, that also you call as a chart of account structure copy. That means chart of account structure instance. So in our applications, you can use only chart of account structure instance. Even if you create chart of account structure, no use. You have to copy it as instance. Instance only you can use. Okay. To work all these integrations, different logics to sync and work, they introduce the instance concept. Otherwise, reality instance is not at all required. But instance is mandatory. Without creating instance, you cannot use your chart of account structure. Okay. The chart of account structure you copy, that you name it as instance. Fine, we'll go and see if you have any questions, we'll discuss. We are going to create chart of account structure instance. Let's see how to create. Just click on done. So by clicking on manage structures only, we created our chart of account structure, right? We'll go and see what chart of account structure we created once again. Okay. So how we came to this page, this is the task we used. Manage chart of account structures. You have to click on go to task icon. And you have to click on search directly. And you have to click on here, you can see general ledger application. Within that, we have accounting flex field. And you have to click on manage structures. So whatever the structure we created here, you can see. In the fresh instance, when you are working for your client, you don't find any structures here. But this we are using for practice purpose. See, if I click on search, many structures would be there. These all are created for practice purpose. Okay. But in the fresh instance, you don't find single chart of account structure. Whatever you create, that would be the first. So go to manage structures. What structure we created? Google. And one more request, when you are practicing, you also don't try with the Google name for your practice purpose. By taking prefix or suffix to Google, don't practice. So when you are going to run these classes, somewhere will just mess up. Okay, please don't use Google name when you practice. You use some other name. Click on search. Click on search. This is the chart of account structure we created. We given the name as Google Accounting Flex Field. How we created, if you want to check, select this record, click on edit. How this is created, you can see. This is how we given the code, name, description, delimiter. Anytime you can change the delimiter. And again, these are the segments we created. How you created a company segment, if you want to check, select company record and click on edit. How the company segment is created, you can see here. So this is how you can verify. How you created, from where you created, what data you provide, you can check. So this is how we created chart of account structure. Okay. Now we are going to see how to create the chart of account structure instance. It's already 9:30. So this we'll see in the next session. Okay. So we completed up to here. That means we are ready with the chart of account structure. We have to create instance and we'll discuss about how the deployment will work. When you do the deployment, few points we have to understand what system will validate. All those points also we'll discuss. Then we'll create the values and we'll provide the value attributes. So we're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back. We will discuss. If you don't have any questions, we'll connect tomorrow. Tomorrow in the sense, Friday, Monday. Okay, the next session would be on Monday. As we discussed, classes from Monday to Friday. Okay, Saturday, Sunday, no classes. So we'll connect on Monday and we'll try to complete this rest of part. After that, what is the next step that we will discuss and we'll do in the system. Please start practicing on the system. So other than chart of accounts, nothing is the big concept in the system. Everything is very, very simple. How you created calendar, how we just discussed about currency. That's how you can find all the concepts. Only the concept is chart of accounts. It's a little big, I can say. Means we have to do multiple setups. We have to understand all these points, these labels, value sets, assignments, value attributes, etc. So just practice it. It will become simple. Rest all will become very, very easy for you. Yeah. You practice and you look at it. You can understand. It is not difficult. Okay. So we're done for today. Any questions? Stay back. We will discuss. Any questions, please?
Laxman,
Previous classes. Yeah.
So we have created the segments and we have attached the values, sets and everything. And just comparing with EBS. So once you create the chart of account segments and attach the value sets and assign your segment qualifiers in EBS, similarly, we assign the labels here, segment labels. So
yeah, one second.
EBS,
Since you are talking about EBS, let me answer your question. In EBS, flex field qualifiers in Fusion, we are calling a segment label.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. In EBS, segment qualifiers, we are calling as a value attributes in Fusion.
Okay. So once we set up everything, we compile the
And one more point, let me talk about it. One more point. In EBS, okay, in EBS, do you think you have to create the value set first?
No.
Not required. Directly
not required.
Chart of account structured.
Correct.
So you can go to create segments. There itself, you'll have a tab to create the value sets.
Exactly. Correct.
Okay. Here it is a mandatory. You have to create first. The otherwise segment creation time, you don't have that option. That is the reason the sequence is changed. And one more point. In EBS, after creating the value set, you can create the values, right?
Yes.
But in the Fusion, you can create. If you create, the value attributes won't be displayed, like allow budgeting, allow posting, account type, etc. It won't get displayed. Once deployment is done, then only if you are trying with the value set, inside, if you create the values, the segment qualifiers will be displayed. Otherwise, it won't display. It will display like code and do description only.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what. If you compare with EBS, these are the points you have to notice. Others who are not from EBS, ignore these points. Not required for you. Yeah, please. Any other questions, please? Any questions?
Laxman, all these setups we have done manually. For suppose, by mistake, if anything goes wrong, is there any chance for us to rectify that? For example, for company, we have to give the primary balancing segment label. Okay, by mistake, we have selected cost center. For suppose, I'm just hypothetical example, but it still happens. So is there any chance for us to rectify that?
Yeah. See, if you assign by mistake primary balance and segment label, cost center, intercompany labels, you can reassign, no issues. But risk we have with the natural account segment label. If you assign natural account segment label by mistake to company instead of account, it will create the issue. Okay, that you cannot rectify. How it will impact, I will see that. When you come to know about natural account segment label, you will understand that. So in primary balance and segment label by mistake, you may assign to department, no issues. You can remove and you can assign to company. Cost center segment label, you may assign to company by mistake. You can remove and you can assign to department. Intercompany, you can assign to wrong segment. Again, you can correct it, no issues. But if you assign natural account segment label, you cannot do anything. It's like breaking the glass.
Okay.
Yeah. Why, how that is also, you will see in our classes definitely. When you understand the purpose of natural account segment label, you will understand this point, whatever I'm saying. Once you assign, it is assigned on. Even if you can remove it, even if you remove, when you assign what system will update, that updates will remain permanently. In such scenarios, only the option is you have to create the new chart of accounts. And one more important point, when you are practicing, you may do these mistakes. Once you practice, once you learn, when you are working consultant, that means you know product, how to use, what to do, what not to do. With all that precautions only, will be working on the system. There won't be any risk issues. But when you're practicing, yes, your point is correct. You may do it.
Okay. So in the practicing scenario, we are fine. But if there are multiple accounts, is there any possibility we create the natural accounts in a template and export it to Oracle? Is it
everything
possible?
now? Everything, not only natural accounts, it's all entire chart of accounts. Your calendar also you can load. We have template that we call as rapid implementation. We'll cover in our classes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Everything you can load it. Now see, you have, when you are learning, you have to understand manual process. That's very, very, very important. So that also will cover.
Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any questions?
Hey, Laxman, this is Srikanth, and I need few clarifications to continue on this course. So wanted to discuss offline. So I'm trying to reach you from the last 2 days, but not able to.
No. What we can do is, can you tell me that team member name you are in touch with whom? So I'll ask them to arrange the call. Your name?
It's Mounika from ERPTREE.
Yeah, I'll talk to Mounika. I'll ask her to connect the call. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So maybe what time I can expect when?
See, after this questions and answers, we'll wind up the session. After winding up the session, within 2 minutes, you will get a call.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any questions from anyone, please?
Laxman, Rohit also one person, right?
Sorry?
Rohit.
You are in touch with whom?
Rohit.
Rohit is not there in our team. Your name is Rohit?
No, not Rohit. I'm reached person is I'm reached to Rohit only.
Nobody, Rohit. No, no one. Maybe you're talking about sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We have people in our team like Saida, Satish, Mounika, and Priyanka. Bala.
You have Satish also, right?
Yeah, Satish also we have, yes.
Yeah. What is happening for me? The link I'm not getting. Every day I have to ask him.
No. What? Yeah, I got it. I got your point. So as of now, what I'm doing is from today I started. The guys who subscribed for this batch, I'm sending the link for them. The guys who are coming from other batches, as of now, they are sending the link. From tomorrow, I'll be sending the link to everyone. Okay, you will get directly from my side from tomorrow. I mean, next session.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
We'll do that. Yeah. And who said Rohit? You can talk to Rohit. Okay, and ask correct name and ask them to.
Sorry, sir. I mistakenly wrote the name wrongly. Okay, I will connect.
Yeah, you talk to them.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Srikanth and Mounika, right, sir? Both.
Yeah, Srikanth, Mounika, Saida, Sunita, Bala.
Okay.
You cross-check between these names.
Saida. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, Saida.
His name is Saida.
Yeah, so you want him to arrange a call with me, right?
Okay, sir. That's it.
Your good name?
Manohar Reddy, sir.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Laxman sir. This is Sridhar. Yesterday I subscribed for this course and I got 2 links from you, sir.
Yeah.
One is dev and one is test. So I can practice or only I can work on
anyone
dev
you can use. Better you can use this one, Dev 58. What I'm using per class. Yeah.
Okay.
That also you can use. The other one also you can use. Better you can use this, since even I'm taking the class on this. If anything goes wrong, easily we'll fix it. Yeah. So everything will keep validated, right? So better you can use this. Anyone is okay? You may go with this.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine.
Laxman, now you created all the setups, right, for the segments, value sets, and labels, all this stuff. So what is the program which runs in the background for compiling this GL flux field in Fusion?
GL flex field. Here.
Yeah.
Here compiling, here it will come. Deploy.
Oh, okay. We have not started. Okay.
Not yet done. Okay. Just we are creating. After creating the instance, the value will submit.
Okay, I'll wait. Okay, thanks.
Laxman, this is Sridhar. Once again, I have one question. Like we are creating chart of account. So when if one user is creating chart of account, means other users should not use the same page. So in case is chart of account is basically per user based, right?
No. See, one second. See, chart of accounts creation only I'm talking. Chart of account usage I'm not talking. See, in the company, if there are 1,000 users who are going to work on Fusion applications, 1,000 users can use the chart of accounts at a time, no issues. So for the entire implementation, one time we create. Ideally, one consultant only create it. Finance consultant has to create the chart of accounts. No other users will touch it. Since that is the reality, so at a time, one user can have access to the chart of accounts to do the modifications. That's all.
So say, for example, if X consultant is working on one project, that is for only one chart of account, right? If same user is working on other project, he can also create one chart of account, right?
No, if instance is same, only one at a time can be created. After that, one more can be created.
Okay. In second project, we can create one more, right?
Yeah. One more you can create after creating this, because instance is same, right? Say, for example, same instance we are using.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. You are working for India, I am working for US. Now I am creating one chart of accounts for India, and same time if you try, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah. Once I create, you can start creating. It will work.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, please? So no questions. Then that's all for today. We'll connect on Monday. Thank you all.